Former Marvel Studios director and now the head of DC Studios, James Gunn himself reveals when exactly we can expect a Marvel Studios and DC Studios crossover film, and he says that once all things are worked out, about a decade from now. So once again, this is coming at us directly from James Gunn. And a recent interview he did with The Hollywood Reporter, he was asked about previous statements about a Marvel and DC crossover film and if there's any update. And he said, well, certainly not today, but that's not the end of it. He says that right now, the focus for DC is to put out as many high-quality films as possible and bring the box office up to a acceptable manner, to build a fan base and build an established universe that can then lead to it. And when further asked about when he expects it, he said, obviously not today once again, but he sees it happening in about 10 years. And once again, it's once the infrastructure of the DCU is laid down and they know exactly what their universe is. So I've said it before when talking about what he said. It's gonna happen if both sides want it to, but both sides have to agree that the time is right. And if you look at what happened with Spider-Man, because I can use that as a perfect example. Spider-Man joined the MCU when the Spider-Man IP and brand was at an all-time low. They had no other option. The DCEU failed hardcore with the last couple projects. It's dead. There'd be no sense in Marvel Studios being the biggest studio in Hollywood, still putting out the biggest films that dominate the top 10 every year, bending over backwards to bring in Shazam. It's pointless. It would harm them. But if the DCU under James Gunn can become a true rival, and they're both on equal footing a decade from now, one side sitting down with the other is going to be a lot more appetizing to both, because nobody's going to steal from the other's plate. They're going to have equal share and split it down the middle. And then everybody gets what they want. So him saying about 10 years from now is a realistic expectation. Because by then, there's going to be more consolidations. There's going to be more mergers. There will be more crossovers because the industry is changing. And a decade from now, the film industry will be largely big blockbusters only, and the smaller films that come out are not going to make as much and go straight to digital even quicker, which we're now seeing is a 3 to 4 week turnaround. 3 years ago, it was 6 months or a year. So times are changing, and what he's saying here is literally the truth. 10 years from now, if the DCU can find its footing and the MCU is still going, you're going to get a crossover. And make no mistake about this. It will be the biggest, most expensive film ever produced. It will be the most advertised film ever produced, and it will be the biggest box office hit of all time, bar none. It will destroy every single other record held by anything. It's what it's going to do, and that's their goal.